All stories alleged. For gossip and entertainment only. Let's do this.
Hello, gossipers. Sharona here. So we're going to talk on a sensitive topic, and that is race in America, especially between the African American / Black community and the Asian community. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, because you have Haiti, the country Haiti, then you have Asians like Japan, Korea, so hopefully I'm pronouncing that word correctly and you get what I'm saying. But I'll put a picture of I think it's a congressman, a state representative, and then you'll see the community that I'm speaking on. So here it says, Jean Wu calls for unity between Asian and Black communities. And the article reads, Texas State Representative Jean Wu has sparked widespread discussion with his viral comments emphasizing its interconnected struggles of Asian and Black communities in the fight for civil rights, as reported by MSN. Wu argued that the privileges many Asian Americans enjoy today would not exist without the sacrifices made by Black Americans during the civil rights movement. Speaking on a podcast with Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Jose Antonio Vargas, Wu stated, "The day the Latinos, African Americans, Asian, and other communities realize that they share the same oppressor is the day we start winning back. We are the majority now," who highlighted how stereotype such as the model minority myth imposed on Asian Americans have been used to pit minority groups against each other. According to Houston Chronicle, Wu pointed to America's history of systemic oppression against Asian communities, such as the Chinese Exclusion Act and the quotas that followed, as part of the narrative that the Asian American must remember and confront. He called for Asian Americans to stand in solidarity with Black Americans, rejecting complicity and actively engaging in the fight for equity and justice. Wu, who represents District 137 in Southwest Houston, an area renowned for its ethnic diversity, has been an outspoken advocate on immigration issues and a critic of policies like Senate Bill 147, which restricts land ownership for legal residents from countries including China. He recently became chair of the Texas House Democrat Caucus. His comments have resonated widely, going viral on social media platforms focused on Black and Asian audiences. They also reignited discussion about the shared struggles of minority groups in the United States and the importance of unity in addressing systemic racism. So yes, he's calling for the unity. This is something I did not know. That's why we need to go educate ourselves before we speak on certain issues. Now, reading this, I did not know that it says the policies like Senate Bill 147, which restricts land ownership for legal residents from countries including China. Now, I didn't know that this was a bill. Now, if these people are here legally, why is it they can't own land? Why is it because they're from China, they're not allowed to buy land? If they're here legally, they work, they provide, why can't they buy land? So I never knew that. This is where I'm coming from. Just listen to me. I did not know what racism was until I came to America at 14. I'm originally from Jamaica, and I traveled back and forth when I was a young child. My grandmother lived here, so the summer times growing up, I would come to live with her in the U.S. and we'd go back and forth. Now, even though Jamaica is a predominantly black country, we do have other races there. And growing up for me in Jamaica, you would say I was not, it wasn't poor, but I was not rich, if you get what I'm saying. So at one point, our neighbors was Chinese Jamaican. His name was Paul. His parents were immigrants who came to Jamaica. He was born there. And another time when we moved in Jamaica, our neighbors were white Jamaicans. Of course, their parents immigrated. I don't know from where, but yes. So I do know that they were different. I did not know to put a label on it to say he's Chinese or Asian and they're white. As I said, I didn't know until I came to the US to differentiate. Now some people might say, really? Yes, I'm speaking my truth. As I said, I knew they were different looking at them compared to what Jamaica was, but I did not know a label, like how people love to put labels on things. So, fast forward now, I've been in the US for over 30 years. I am a United States citizen. I went in for my citizenship over, oh my God, a while ago. But before, I was legally living here. And as I said, as a young kid into a teenager, I was going back and forth with my grandmother. Every summer I would come up and stay with my grandmother. Now, I don't know how I developed this mentality, if it's from social media or whatever it is, but I just thought that white people were the gold. That was the standard of beauty. Yes, that's what I thought. But then the older I got, the more I realized, no, that is, I can only use words that I know to use. It was just that people were just hating. And that's not a word I like to use, the H word. Hate. Well, I just said it. But, okay, so I'm not going to sugarcoat it anymore. This is what I'm saying. I think in America now, I say African American and I say black as to differentiate those who are American born, they're African American. But if you're from the Caribbean, from Africa, from Germany, anywhere where you're a black person, I say black. So when you hear me say African American and black, that's how I differentiate. Now, see, people might say, oh, you're separating. No, we're not separating. Because I think I heard people say that. So why can't we just all use black? And I'm like, no, just to let you know, I was not born here, so I'm not African American. I'm black Jamaican, or if you want to say Afro Jamaican, which I've never heard before anyone being called Afro Jamaican. But yeah, so that's it. So this is my mindset. In America, the way America portrays African American, and the only reason why I'm using African American is because a lot of the shows that you watch or news stories that you watch, it's mostly African Americans who are on there because, of course, this is the country of African Americans. We are minorities here, black minorities. So you don't see us much on the news as far as other countries doing anything. And from that, I draw that because America, with their history with black and white, African American and white, it's like the oppression from the history is, of course, it's still going on, not as visible as it was back then, but it's like it's there. And Trump, he hasn't taken office yet, but this is how I see it. I think that the world gets their misinformation about African Americans and black people from what they see in the US, meaning the stereotypes that are shown on social media. When you watch the news, when you watch the news, then if they're talking about robbery or crime or murder or things like that, you mostly see African Americans on the news. Or if it's someone from from black person from another country, you might see that. Now, I don't know what it's like in predominantly white counties like Utah or Alaska when they're showing their news, who you're seeing. But I'm living in Florida, which is very diverse. And I don't know why I'm sugarcoating stuff, because I know I'm going to get cussed out. But there's no need to cuss me out. I'm just telling it from my perspective. This is how I see it. The world sees African American as black and black people as idiots. We're dumb. We're not smart. We're criminals. They see all of that, and I think it's generated from what America shows on their TV news and what they say. So with people from Japan and China and India and Russia, Germany, all these people who are not black, when they see all this portrayal from the US, they lump everyone together. They generalize that that's how all black people are. So for me, I'm saying that, okay, let's put it this way. I hope I'm not talking in circles for you guys. It's like I want to say it, but as I keep saying, I can only say it how I can say it, but hopefully you'll get what I'm saying. I think that other minorities in this country who are not black, so the Indians, the Asians, the who else? Those minority, even the Latins, they do not want to be associated with black people because America tells them that African American and black people, we are nothing. We're the scum of the earth. So why would you want to align yourself with that race when you can align yourself with the white man, the pure race, the race that everyone wants to be like and achieve like? And I've even said that I think if any other race brought home, like with the Asian culture, they stick to their race, their culture. And if they had to go out of their culture, I think their family would want to see them more with someone white than someone black. That's how my mind is living in America. So for this unity to happen between the Asian and black African American community, we need to see more of that, more of the embracing of each other's culture than we do. Now, hearing him say this, it's nice and everything, but I don't see it. I remember when COVID happened, and even though Donald Trump called it the China virus, and the Asian community, they put out their commercial, to me, it just felt like they were showing more attacks, that black people were attacking them more than any other race. Now, that's what I was seeing with social media and the news. So it's like, why would they want to form an alliance with people who the news are making out to be this volatile, mean group of people? And even with the Spanish people, those Spanish people who are Afro-Latina or whatever, they are so ashamed or they are taken aback. They do not want anything to do with the black race or African American culture. They don't want it, even though they themselves look blacker than black. Like, for instance, the rumors here in Florida is that Cubans. Now, we need to realize that with Cubans, you have white Cubans. And I'm guessing that's what Ron DeSantis is, or the Cubans that live in Miami. But I heard they're so racist towards black people and African American. Now, do I personally know that? No, I don't. But this is what social media is telling you. This is what social media creators are telling you, that as an African American and a black person, you are not accepted in Miami around the Cubans because they think less of you, and because of the way they look, they're better than you. Yes, that's what I've heard people say when it comes to especially the Cubans in Miami. Now, if it's not true, we don't know, because we don't see anyone coming to debunk that story. I've seen a documentary on Cuba, and the amount of black people that were in this documentary, I was surprised, because it's like when you're in the US and you said you're Cuban, you're looking to see someone who looks like your typical Jennifer Lopez, because that's where the Cuban community portrays it, especially in Miami. So to see those black Cubans, and even with them, the black Cubans, they won't acknowledge that they're black. And it's they're black because, as Laz Alonso, he's an actor. I'm going to play you this clip with him. Listen to Laz. So you heard what Laz said. Now, people in the Dominican Republic, I hear a lot that they don't want to be known as black, those who are black, because as you heard Laz, the ship dropped off black people around the world. So they dropped some off in the US, in Jamaica, where I'm from, in Cuba, where he's from. So yes, we're black. It's just that they dropped you in a country that speaks Spanish. And because the white man is seen as the master, people want to try to strive for that position, because they're told if you don't, you're less than. I remember at my job now, I work for a law office, and our what you call it, the building, the lady that cleans our bathroom and everything, she's Dominican, and she had her thick accent, stuff like that. And I remember one day she was standing, and I said to her, just a quick question, all this race thing with Dominican, and they don't want to say they're black, those who are, and everything like that. And I said, do you consider yourself black? And she's like, no, me not black, me Dominican. And I said, I know you're Dominican from the Dominican Republic and you speak Spanish, but race-wise, no. I mean, she cut me off like I was, like I was going to slice her or something. That's how, to me, offended she got for me saying that. What I also noticed in America is that a lot of these Afro-Latinas, I'm doing quotes now, You see them on TV shows and they run more with their Latin side than anything else. The only Afro Latina who acknowledges that she's black and she speaks Spanish is Zoe Saldana. I've heard her say it out of her mouth. She's a black woman and she's also Latina because she speaks the language. But you had this actress. She was on Orange is the New Black. It's women, a bunch of women, in a prison. You could check it out, Netflix, hot, nice show. But she plays the character Gloria. Now, before she started talking and I saw her, I thought, oh, this is just this is a black actor who's playing. But then she started speaking and I said, oh, she's playing the Afro Latina. But in the entire series, she was, like you would say, in prison they have their groups. Not once did she ever vibe with the black side to say that I am black, but I speak Spanish. She was always with her Spanish people, the one that looked like Jennifer Lopez and everything like that. And I realized that in reality also, those Afro-Latinas, as I said, I don't know if that's how she sees herself, but I noticed that they all run to these lighter skin or other Spanish or Latin people who would look like what's his name? Jennifer Lopez's husband, Mark Anthony. So a lot of these Afro-looking Latinas, they would marry people who would look like Mark Anthony. And I'm looking at it as, are they told in their family just for a better life? Because this is what I hear. And Spanish people have said it, when you watch YouTube, stuff like that. They're told, make sure you marry light so your kids can have a better advantage in life, stuff like that. So I don't know if my mind is just all twisted up, but that's just how I see it. I just see it as every single race other than black are told, don't bring a black person home because it will cheapen our bloodline, cheapen our image, because black people are seen, as I said, are rapists, murderers, no education, nothing. That's just how. And it's sad that my mind works this way. And even some African Americans, I remember listening to a guy and he said that there are no black people who were like the Cosby. Now, the Cosby Show, you have Claire, the mother, who's a doctor, and Claire was a lawyer, sorry. And Heathcliff was the doctor. And this man said that there's no black people. The Cosby Show did not represent what he saw. He more related to Good Times. That's what he said. And I remember shaking my head like, oh my God, how can you put that out there, that what you saw on the Cosby Show, a doctor and a lawyer, you don't have African Americans or black people living that life. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is how America has played with these people's mind, for someone to have the nerve to say that the Cosbys don't live in America. And with someone making that comment, that's the only thing I can see. And I would like to think that person was not dumb enough to think that way, but they said it with conviction, like, yes, no, black people, we can't relate to the Cosby because we don't see that. What we see are Good Times. And I'm like, oh my God, what is going on in this country? So yes, I feel like the hatred for African Americans and black people around the world is what is shown on social media and from America media, news, shows. That's how people think of us around the world. So for him wanting this unity between the African Americans and Asian is that the Asians need to realize that we're not bad people, that everyone wants the same thing, and don't look at stereotypes or don't look at, even your own country might be telling you don't mix with the black people because they're bad and they're wicked. No, that's something also that needs to be thrown out on the Asian side, just like with the Indians and everybody else coming to America, making America make them feel like they're next, they're on the same level as the white people and the black people are idiots. That's what I think. I just think that anyone, as I said, with the Asian community, Indian or whatever, they come to this country and they feel like the country's telling them, don't mix with those people. They're worse than you. Stick with us, the white people. So good for him. So gossipers, what are your thoughts on this? I sure I'm gonna get a lot of comments, probably hateful comments too. But I'm not picking on African Americans or, black people. I'm just saying that's the way America makes me think or feel. Now, besides that, have I ever experienced racism in America? I did not. I didn't think I did, but listening to how Americans speak, especially African Americans, I think I did. So this is when I lived in the Bronx. And in the Bronx, if you go to the Bronx, you have a lot of Chinese restaurants and, Chinese store where you can go and buy a lotto tickets and lotion, stuff like that. And I remember going into the store and I think I was being followed, but I didn't see it as followed. I just thought the man was just there. That's how naive I was as a teenager, thinking that, oh, this man is following me around because he think I'm going to steal anything. But the thing that happened was, I think the day before their store was robbed, or a couple black girls or African Americans went in and they did take stuff. So right now it's like he is picturing them, seeing them in me, to say that now this one, she's going to come and take stuff. And, at the time, I didn't even see it that way. I was like, well, they got to protect their store. They were robbed before and now looking back at it, it's like I was racially profiled, I'm guessing. So that's my only experience I've ever had in America so far. Knock on wood. I'm knocking. Yeah, now up into my adult age, no, because I've realized where I go to live, it's a mix. It's a mixing pot. It's a blend of everything. So no, I don't know. Even when we go on vacation, no, we and because sometimes we'll go to Disney World. I'm telling you, and we will be the only people of color standing in a line to get on rides and stuff. Even though there's a lot of us there, we're still very much outnumbered. If you get what I'm saying. And even with that too, with the Asian population, like if you go to Disney, you don't see much of them. You do see more of African American black, but we're still, the minority when it comes to going to Disney World, to the point where you're in line waiting for a ride and you look around and you're like, okay, you're the only one. But again, never experienced any racism or no one wanting to stand by you or speak to you because of your race. Now, I remember social media again. You remember when, was it Legoland or something, and they said that the person in the costume, what mascot, is that what they call them, did not want to touch the black children, and they showed the video, and I'm like, oh my God, it was that something had to be behind it. I don't think they were, and people are like, no, you can't say that. That's the reason why. And then they came out and they were like, no, they didn't. They showed 1 and 2, videos where I don't think it was the same person, but the character didn't go up to other kids who were not black. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to believe in this country, because once they show it and it goes viral, there's no taking it back. So yeah, so stuff like that. And like I said, with other races, to me, they're told, if you're going to bring something home other than your own ethnicity or your own race or something, make sure it's a white person. And then I don't know if they're doing it has to say that, your kids will be treated better and differently, most likely. But that's just how I think that the Indian people in this country, the Asian people, Japan, whatever, no, they don't want to unite with black people because we're painted so badly in the media and on social media that anywhere around the world that you go. Now, I can understand if you go to predominantly places like China, Japan, where they don't see white people. So of course they're gonna look at you because it's like, oh my God, I've never seen someone this color before. And I don't take offense. I know some people take offense when they go to these country and they're looking at you like, oh, are you that color? Or, I don't take offense in that sense because I have to realize that their country is predominantly that. And if you go to specific parts of the country, they've never seen a black person before, so they're gonna be curious, So some can hide it, some can't, and as long as they're not mean or nasty, then that's fine. But if they blatantly tell you, like here in the U.S., I don't eat watermelon, and then it has nothing to do with slavery or what the U.S. history is, I just don't like it. But if you're a black person who eats watermelon, oh my God, fried chicken, only black people. I thought watermelon was a southern thing. You see people like Honey Boo Boo White, they love their fried chicken and their watermelon. But no, you can't do that with an African American because it's tied up into slavery. So when I hear if a white person says, oh, we're going to do watermelon and the black person jokes, you know why they're saying that? Because, they know we like watermelon. And I'm looking at it like, but they also like watermelon. Are we not supposed to like watermelon or say we want watermelon because that's people are going to say, oh, yeah, it's just because of slavery. If you get what I'm saying. I think I have to cut this video in two because I have to get something else where I can save all these long chats that I have going through my mind. So yes, that's how I see. And then with people who, if they're not biracial, when they do the ancestry DNA, and it shows they're 50% African or 60%, but there's 4% Italian, 3% Russian. Is like they're over the moon because it's like, oh, I'm not fully black. It's like just reactions that you see on TV. And I roll my eyes because I'm like, you're a black person. Every black person is mixed with something. But for you to have that joy of, I'm 60% black, but I have 5% 5% German or 5% this, that. I am telling you. So yeah, I'm just gonna end it there. I can talk forever. Be nice if someone had a podcast where I could just go on and say what I feel and to hear them rebuff how I feel. Like to let me know, no, you're thinking too much. Because even that one, someone, it was on Facebook, made a post and I said the exact same thing that, well, I think, any other